What is up, YouTube? This is Talk Force X, our new podcast. Today we're missing some members, but that's okay. We're still gonna get this done. We're talking about a few DC topics today. I'm here with Space of Waste
What's up, everybody?
and the Joker Clan.
Hello, everyone.
I'm official DCU, and let's just get into the topics at hand. All right, so the first thing we're gonna be talking about is Matt Reeves, the director of the Second Planet of the Apes, who was in talks for the Batman solo film with Ben Affleck. He recently dropped out, and it's kind of causing a big stir in the DC community. A lot of people are getting worried, and I just want to know, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, the first thing, Matt Reeves wasn't the director. They were in talks about being him the director, so that's a problem, though. I think Matt Reeves was not a good choice for a director, so because Matt Reeves isn't like a big name director.
Mm-hmm.
So WB will pressure him for doing like he got the story, and they want the story to put the Joker, so they'll pressure him. If they put like a director like George Miller or something like that, George Miller will do like if they said we want the Joker in the story. He said no, fuck that, drop out the directorship.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, yeah, you're right. He wasn't really director yet. He was in talks.
Yeah.
I think for sure some stuff is going behind the scenes of Warner Brothers where they're like really pressuring the directors, especially Ben, which is pretty much why he dropped out, even though he won't say it. And going off of that, I don't know if it was having to do with the Joker, but personally, I think the Joker would be great for the Batman solo film, just because I think that a lot of people have mixed opinions about him, and he deserves another chance. And with a better writer, he could possibly be a better Joker than what people are thinking. So I don't know. But George Miller also, speaking of that, he's a pretty good pick for a director, I think. He directed Mad Max, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I do like him. He'd be pretty good. He can make a universe like Mad Max. He made it its own world, and I'm pretty sure he could do the same thing with Gotham. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Batman is like a doomed movie project, or do you think that everything's gonna be okay?
No, I don't.
I think everything. Yeah, go first.
I don't think it's like ruined. If anything, like we all know, Batman is like DC's number one hero, and like they're like number one like prized possession and everything. So I think now with the reception that the DC universe is getting, they're just trying to put that much more force on Batman because, of course, like they think Batman just couldn't fail, especially in today's world. So I mean, I don't think it's doomed or anything. Like I don't think DC, their universe or anything is doomed. I just think that they're worried about the reception that they've been getting. They're worried about how Wonder Woman's going to do, just the Justice League and all that. And so they're just trying like their best to like get this Batman movie up. Before this happened, like I really wasn't worried about it. I kind of had a feeling that Ben Affleck was going to leave as director just because he's writing it, producing, starring, all that, and like that's just a lot for one guy to do on his own, period. So when he left the director seat, I really wasn't worried about it because he was still active in like 3 out of 4 of those roles or whatever. So it really wasn't that big of a deal, like to me. But like it's really not that concerning, just because, like you said, he was in talks. He wasn't like confirmed to be the director. It wasn't like the director of Flash, where they had him locked in and then he left the project. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's not really that concerning to me.
What do you think, Jawad?
Well, I think the Batman script is. I think it's pretty solid. What we're hearing from Ben Affleck and the interviews. So I just worrying about the director, like what the Zack Snyder did for Man of Steel and BBS. So people will be worrying about the director. So I think the best director for the Batman movie will be a director named David Fincher, who made
I've heard of him, but I've never seen his work.
he made Fight Club, and
Oh,
he
okay.
made a movie. He made a movie with Ben Affleck, 2014, named Gone Girl. So there's a
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. So I think it's pretty good director, but you know, that's
You know,
my opinion.
that's actually a pick that I haven't heard of at all until now, and it's actually not really bad because I saw Gone Girl, and it was a really good movie, and Ben was in it, and it had an amazing plot twist. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that would be a pretty good choice too. But I don't think that the Batman movie is doomed either. But I think that Warner Brothers needs to. I think this should be a sign to them to like worry on other things for the moment and like still do work on Batman, but keep it more to like a side project and not like their main focus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Like
I think that's what they need to do. Go ahead.
real quick, not even to like get off topic, and it's kind of like
Hmm.
something that everyone says or whatever, but like in my opinion, I don't think they're doing it, but like I hear lots of times from different people. Do you think that DC is rushing things in order to like catch up with like other shared universes, like um well, not even DC in particular, but like Transformers, they're starting to do it. They're starting to build up a shared universe
Hmm.
and everything like that in order like to follow Marvel and all that. Do you think DC is rushing things, or do you think the way that they have everything mapped out and the things that we've heard from them that they're doing it in their own way?
Okay. This is something I might go into a lot. I think at first, when I first heard of the universe and stuff, I think they had a goal
Mm-hmm.
and they had a plan, and it was all going good. And no matter what, yes, they are in a way doing this as a response to Marvel,
Yeah.
but they weren't doing it as like hard and seriously as they are now because at first it was like, okay, these are the movies we have set in place. This is how we're going to do them. This is how the timeline goes. But then, due to the critics' backlash and stuff, they started to get into this thing where it's like more less planning and more reacting.
Yeah.
So they're like,
I
oh my
agree.
god, this movie failed, so now we're gonna have to do this, or we're gonna do this, and we're gonna shuffle this around. And I think that's what's actually screwing them over. Because if they would just stick to the plan, which they haven't even seen how the whole plan is gonna go out, like the plan that they had originally, they might be scared of going along with it, but it might actually be the best thing that could happen to the DC universe, and we don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
So if they would stop reacting and just go with what they had originally intended, then it might be better. But as of right now, I'm sorry to say it, but I really do think that they're just trying to catch up with Marvel, and the same with the other um, cinematic universes. And I think it's just because right now it's like one of the most selling film type of things, and it's just the trend, and they're trying to get in on the money.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I mean, I hope,
So,
because like these are like the characters that I grew up with. The first
mhm,
cartoon series I ever watched was like the Justice League animated series, and so like I want the DC universe to succeed in everything. And
mhm,
one thing I heard was that their plan from the get go was for it to begin darker and then over time um, become lighter, and that's what Batman v Superman
mhm,
was about, like a whole
Mm-hmm.
enlightenment and everything.
mhm,
But once again, we didn't hear
Yeah.
those statements until after BVS was released and those negative receptions came in. And so
yeah.
that's what like that what keeps me wondering is because it's like, okay, was this always the initial plan, or was it like how you said where they saw the reception, they was like, okay, let's shuffle things around and be like, no, this was always the plan, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just really reacting, and that's why I think um that DC, even though I don't even think it's possible anymore because Warner Brothers like technically owns their asses, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's better if like DC would, if right from the get-go would have had a different company like helming it, because
Yeah.
I don't know if Warner Brothers really knows what the hell they're doing with this cinematic universe at this point. They're like Warner Brothers is pretty much just a cash grab studio, to be
Yeah.
honest, and they're really just they're not they're trying to because they know like if they're more comic accurate and appeal to the fans, they'll get more money.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's the last thing they're worried about. Like if that didn't help them get money, they would really just make a hell of a mess, and as long as they made money, they wouldn't give two shits. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, because
Yeah.
WB, like, they have successful movies like the Harry Potter series, uh, this Kong and the Skull Island that's coming out. Like, they have
Hmm.
successful movie series that's going on. And one thing I heard was like, WB, they succeed at a certain level, but superheroes is like at the bottom for them, and so they're not putting as much respect and quality into it as much as like their other film series.
And
Um,
I think it might also have to do. It's definitely the Marvel thing because
mhm.
okay, when the Dark Knight trilogy came out, we all remember that with Christopher Nolan and stuff.
Yeah.
That shit did amazing.
Yeah.
And if you realize at that time they had no competition with Marvel. Like they
Mhm.
weren't trying to catch up with Marvel, but now that they are, they're failing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that they really need to focus on themselves
Mhm.
and worry less about everything else.
Yeah.
But you got to look. Yeah, but you got to look about the director in that movie, the Christopher Nolan.
Hmm.
He was a big director, So they weren't pushing him. They would let him do the stuff he wanted. But now,
Exactly.
like David Ayer, they pressured him very well, so that movie failed. We
Hmm.
didn't know he had a vision for a story. You remember the first trailer for Suicide Squad?
Yeah, it
It
was
was
great.
yeah, it was great, and it was tonally different from the other trailers they put up.
Hmm.
So
And then
I think that's
they were like, let's make it all lighthearted and marvelous, and that's when everything turned.
Yeah.
yeah, and they had reshoots for Suicide Squad, and that made
Hmm.
the movie. But the biggest problem is they don't trust their directors. That is the
Hmm.
biggest problem. So we need like good directors who can stand up against WB, so we can finally see DCEU prevail. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
that's my
saying. And
opinion.
like, for example, Ben was an amazing pick for the Batman. And I think
Yeah.
if he wouldn't have been pressured as much as he really was, then it would have been fine. Because like you said, Christopher Nolan, yeah, he was with Warner Brothers, but at the time they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. So it was all
Mhm.
okay. But now they're like, oh no, you have to do this way, you have to do it that way. And so the directors are basically useless. And they're like, okay, well, what the hell is the point of me being here? I'm not even like being able to show my ideas, and that's why they leave, and that's why everything turns into a mess. And then that's how you get the like whole cut up movies that get released into theaters and stuff, and it's just a big ass
Mhm.
problem, and nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we've really narrowed it down to the problem there. I think it really does lie within the directors and Warner Brothers, and it's not really the director's fault if you compare it to the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
I think it's really
Yeah.
Warner Brothers' fault. But let's move on to the next topic. Recently at a toy fair, they showed the rumored design for Ares in the new Wonder Woman movie. What did you guys think?
I really like the design. I
Hmm.
think the goat thing on his head is pretty cool. So, but I think the actor is who played in Harry Potter. I don't know who the name of the actor is, but
I don't
he
know
is a good
either, but I know who you're talking
he
about.
but he's a pretty good pick for Aries. So that's all I'm gonna talk about.
What do you think, Justin?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool how like his helmet or his head or whatever is like kind of delving into the mythology of like Greek mythology because it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
this goat minotaur looking thing. So I think that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. I'm really just like pulling out hope for this Wonder Woman movie actually, and like it's not a surprise
Me too.
because we kind of all figured Ares would be the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Him and uh, what's her name, Doctor Poison or Miss Poison.
Doctor Poison, I think.
Yeah,
Dr. Poison, I think.
yeah, we knew that those two were gonna be the villains. Ares like the main villain most likely, and Doctor Poison like a side off villain. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean I'm excited for the movie. I think his design looks pretty cool. Um, yeah, and like I think yesterday they released a rumored plot of like the whole movie of how it goes and everything. So that information sounded pretty cool. You could tell. I don't know if you guys heard it or not or read the plot or whatever, but there's some things that you can tell within it that they did kind of like play safe. and some things in it that we've seen before in other superhero movies. But as a whole, especially with Steve, Trevor, Diana, the whole thing within the movie, it sounds pretty cool. So
Okay, cool. I haven't seen the
Yeah.
plot thing, but I'll probably check it out after this. But
Yeah, me too.
the design, I think it's pretty freaking dope. I know a lot of people on the fandom and stuff are like freaking out, and they literally do this with every single fucking villain. But um, I think like the biggest complaint is about the helmet, and I think the helmet is actually pretty cool because it's pretty much like the carcass of like some sort of creature,
yeah,
and I think it really goes into it shows more about Ares' character than you think it does because it's like, for example, I think natives back in the day used to like wear those type of helmets of like creatures they killed and stuff, animals.
hmm
So it shows how much of a warrior he is in a way, and it shows that he's killed beasts before, and I think it's pretty dope. And it does resemble in a way the Injustice regime Ares costume, and I think a lot of people are focusing on the helmet and aren't even noticing how cool the armor itself looks. Like
Mm.
there's a lot of comic accuracy on that costume, but people only like to look at the things that they can nitpick. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I think that's
Yes.
also unfair to DC too because it's like you guys are looking at everything that's wrong, but you're not appreciating everything that's right. And it's just unfair because instead of giving it a 50%, you're giving it a 0% just because you don't like one thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think the armor looks great. I also think it'll look even better because I'm hearing rumors that in the movie he's actually pretty tall, like like a giant.
Uh huh.
And I think that'll add to the whole intimidation thing. But as Joker Clan say, the um the actor playing him, I don't really know him, but I have to disagree. I actually don't like him for Ares. I haven't seen his talent, but to me, he doesn't look intimidating. Like he looks like a wimp. And I think when I imagine Ares without his helmet, I imagine him as like a big badass, like Hulk Hogan looking dude. You know what I mean? Like not some little
Yeah, yeah.
nerd.
Yeah,
So I mean,
and it can
it
go
doesn't really
like,
matter with CGI. Go
yeah,
ahead.
because it could go like one of two ways. Like one, it could be he's just like a stand-in, and like the actual Ares character is like probably full, if not like mostly CG. Or it could go like
Hmm.
how Marvel did Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy, because the actor who portrayed him was on this TV show called Pushing Daisies, and
Hmm.
that actor is like just like this guy. He's like kind of small, and he's not really intimidating, but the way they like did up his costume and the makeup and everything, he kind of bulked up, and like he did kind of look intimidating. So it can go like probably one of those two ways if this guy is actually playing Ares.
I originally thought the guy playing Ares was okay. You know the Wonder Woman trailers, like that general guy.
Yeah, that's who I thought too.
Yeah.
That's who I thought too, and like he looked alright for me, but it like makes me question now if he was if he wasn't playing Ares, then who is he playing?
So okay, so this is possibly a spoiler, um, just in case you guys don't want to know listening to this. But I
Yeah,
heard,
just click off the video. But it's just possibly like it's probably not even true. But go ahead.
yeah, it's a possible spoiler. So I heard that the general, through this plot leak that went out today or yesterday, the general, he's actually like the typical beat for beat movie bad guy who wants to take over the world, blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
he gets some type of chemical released into him or something, and he ends up like becoming some giant or something that Wonder Woman has to fight or whatever. And that's why in the trailer, and this is why it could possibly be true, but in the trailer we see him and Wonder Woman fighting, and so that could
Yeah.
be leading up to that or afterwards or whatever. But that's who I heard his character was. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but yeah, I thought he was gonna be Ares at first, like in human form.
I think
Yeah.
it
Start.
could go ahead, Jawad.
Sorry for that. The actor's name is David Thewlis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. I think
Yeah.
it could possibly be true. The whole general being some sort of like giant, because you mentioned he gets poisoned, right?
Yeah, that's what the plot
And
said. Like,
Dr. Poison is in the movie.
yeah,
And if you notice in the whole Wonder Woman trailer, there are some scenes where she's jumping around, and there's even one where she's flying, like
Mhm.
implying that she's fighting something larger than life.
yeah,
And you don't even get to see what she's fighting. So I don't know. That kind of seems like it might be true to me, but I'm kind of worried because a CGI giant man might look kind of cheesy.
hmm
So I don't know that. I don't know. I hope they pull it off well. Um, but also, like you said, she was fighting him in the trailer. He wasn't giant there though.
yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if that was leading up to it or whatever, but yeah, because like when I first saw the trailer, I thought when I saw them fighting, I'm like, okay, obviously this is Ares, because there's no way some normal person is like fighting Wonder Woman like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this came out like yesterday or today, and it was like, yeah, he got exposed to some chemical or whatever, and he turns into like some giant monster or whatever. So I don't know if which is true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like she kicked him, and she's a freaking goddess. So
Yeah.
like, if she would kick a normal human, like they were pretty much like fucking blood splatter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's no way that a normal human could take a kick like that, and that's what it shows in the trailer. So I'm pretty sure he's more than just a human in the story. Like he's probably working for Ares, something like that.
hmm
He has some sort of power or something like that. So last conclusions. What do you guys think about the costume? And then we'll sign it off.
For the Wonder Woman
Well,
costume, or
Yeah, the Ares costume.
oh, the Ares costume. I think the Ares costume is like badass. Honestly, he's one of like my favorite guys in Greek mythology. Him alongside of Zeus, and really all you need for Ares is like dark, like maybe gray, silver, black type of metallic armor or whatever, and like make it look badass, really. And if this toy, and like we know sometimes toys don't look the exact way they do like in the film, but if this toy
Yeah, of course.
is anything similar to it, then like yeah, I'm like 100% on board.
Joker Queen?
Yeah, I like the costume very much. I think it's very dope. The black armor on his, the CGI giant man. It's like the Hulk. Maybe do something something like that. Yeah. So I'm pretty hopeful for the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, me too. I think the costume looks great. I think the armor looks amazing. The helmet looks pretty cool, even though it's something different. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so I guess we can end it here. We went over the 2 topics we went over. We have 2 more topics we want to go over, but we want to get the members in, so we're not going to do that in today's video. And of course, DC News comes out like every day, so if something new pops up, then we'll have to add that
We'll
in.
talk about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our first Talk for Sex podcast. This has been official DCEU, the Joker Clan, and Space of Waste. Follow us on Instagram. We post all latest DC news on there. No podcast involved. It's been great talking to you guys. It's been great talking to anybody who's listening to this. Thank you for sharing this with us. Leave your comments down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.